Have you ever wondered about the women behind the great biblical leaders and how they influenced the course of history? Noah, the man who survived the flood and repopulated the world, was not alone. Who were these women who joined with their sons to ensure humanity had a chance to restart? Let's explore a little more about Noah's wives and the impact they had on the formation of new nations. Did you know that, although the scriptures do not mention their names, these women played essential roles in biblical history? What can we learn about them from other ancient texts, such as the Book of Jubilees? How did Noah's wives shape the civilizations that emerged from the destruction of the Great Flood? The answer lies in precious details, often overlooked, which reveal a legacy far greater than what meets the eye. Noah's sons' wives are not merely supportive figures, but matriarchs of the lineages that gave rise to some of the world's most influential nations. Shem's wife, Setiquetlbab, for example, is considered the matriarch of the Semitic peoples. She not only bore children but also transmitted prophecies that helped guide future generations. Her name may not be widely known, but her influence was immense, as told in the Book of Jubilees, which gives us a more detailed insight into her. Setiquetlbab was the mother of the Semitic peoples, who would later spread across various regions of the world, including the Elamites, Assyrians, and other important peoples. The Bible mentions her generations, but it is through texts like the Book of Jubilees that we can better understand the spiritual and social impact of this woman. Her long life, full of prophecies, made her a central figure in the history of her descendants. If you are interested in learning more about the influential women of the Bible and their role in the formation of nations, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share with friends who are also curious about this subject. Your support is crucial for us to continue bringing more fascinating content like this. Have you ever imagined how ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians and African peoples, are connected to biblical stories? What role did Shem's wife, Nyaltamayuk, play in the formation of these influential and ancient cultures? How did she contribute to the birth of nations that played key roles in world history? Let's understand a little more about this fundamental figure in Noah's genealogy. What makes Nyaltamayuk's story so special? How did she, a woman whose name is not widely known, help shape such powerful cultures? The key to understanding her role lies in the details passed down through ancient texts and oracles, which reveal her importance in the creation of a lineage that influenced generations over millennia. She is considered the matriarch of many peoples, including the ancient Egyptians and Ethiopians, whose legacies are immortalized to this day. Nyaltamayuk, Shem's wife, is mentioned in the scriptures as the mother of several peoples, including the Cushites, the Canaanites, and the Egyptians. She is especially significant, as she is seen as the progenitor of Mizraim, one of the ancestors of the Egyptians. Nyaltamayuk's descendants spread across vast regions of Africa and the Middle East, leaving a profound and lasting impact on the cultures that emerged from these lineages. She was a remarkable woman, who not only bore children but also helped guide future generations with wisdom and prophecy. The Bible, along with books like Jubilees, shows us how Nyaltamayuk had an extraordinarily long life, living both before and after the flood, which placed her in a unique position to influence subsequent generations. She, like Setiquetlbab, transmitted prophecies and teachings to the descendants who spread across many nations, shaping the course of their civilizations. These teachings were essential for the formation of peoples, who would become the foundation of some of the greatest ancient civilizations. Have you ever stopped to reflect on the impact of women in the Bible, especially those who are not widely mentioned but played crucial roles in the shaping of nations? The wife of Japheth, Adetinesh, is one such figure. What was the impact of her lineage on the formation of the Indo-European and Asian peoples? And what did she reveal about the future of her descendants? Let's find out. How can we understand the role of Adetinesh, the wife of Japheth, in the history of ancient civilizations? Her life, which spanned centuries, gave her a unique perspective to guide the generations that would follow. Adetinesh not only bore children but also served as a prophetess, like the other wives of Noah. Her prophecies helped form and direct the nations that would arise from her children, such as the Indo-European and Asian peoples. Adetinesh was the mother of several nations, including the descendants of Gomer, Magog, Madai, Jovan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. These nations, which spread across vast regions of Europe and Asia, carry with them the legacy of the revelations made by Adetinesh. Her long life, filled with wisdom, was marked by a series of prophecies that shaped the destiny of her descendants. She shared predictions that helped her children and grandchildren prosper and grow, with nations being formed and shaped by these divine revelations. The Bible and ancient texts show us how Adetinesh, like the other wives of Noah, had a life filled with meaning and spirituality. She was not only a matriarch but also a spiritual guide, imparting teachings that helped shape the history of many peoples. Her prophecies are seen as a spiritual legacy that endures to this day, reflecting the wisdom of a woman who witnessed the formation of great civilizations. Did you know that one of the largest populations in the world, such as that of China, may be linked to an ancient promise made by Noah about the descendants of Japheth? Which peoples have their roots connected to these biblical revelations? How did Noah's prophecies about the expansion of Japheth's descendants truly come to fruition in the grand civilizations we know today? What makes Japheth's genealogies so fascinating? How do today's peoples, such as the Chinese, Mongols, and Vikings, have a direct connection with the ancient prophecies and teachings passed down by their biblical figures? The history of Japheth's children is much more than just a tale of lineages. It is the story of civilizations that shaped the world, with a scope and diversity that leaves us in awe. Japheth, the son of Noah, and his wife Adetinesh, have a lineage that spread across several continents. She was the mother of 7 sons, including Gomer, Magog, Madai, Jovan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, who became ancestors of many of the peoples known in antiquity and even in modern times. The Bible, along with the Book of Jubilees, describes how these children spread across distinct regions, forming different nations and civilizations over time. For example, the descendants of Gomer, known as the Gomerites, were the ancestors of the ancient Sumerians and, over time, divided into 3 main groups. The descendants of Togarmah, one of Adetinesh's grandfathers, gave rise to the Asian peoples, such as the Chinese, Mongols, Japanese, and Koreans. The descendants of Riphat became the Celts, while the descendants of Ashkenaz gave rise to the Vikings, Germans, and Slavs. These groups, with their incredible cultural diversity, still carry the roots of this ancient biblical genealogy. The debate over the origins of some of these peoples, such as the Asians, still persists. Some scholars point to a connection with Sin, a son of Canaan, while others argue that they are direct descendants of Togarmah. The mystery and discussions about the origins of these great civilizations continue to fascinate scholars and those interested in biblical genealogies, revealing how these ancestral lines helped shape the modern world. If you are interested in the origins of great civilizations and how biblical stories still influence our understanding of the world's peoples, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us continue bringing more in-depth content like this.